and he's off into Narnia. We may never see Farmer Dan ever again. What's up, YouTube? Today I got some online racing for you in Forza Horizon 4, kicking it off in 5th place in this old school Porsche. I'm not quite sure what kind of Porsche this is. I think it's like a 559 or something like that. I'm definitely not good when it comes to like makes and models. Actually, I'm pretty good with makes, but just not models. Like when it comes to BMWs and Benzes, I do not know the models whatsoever. They're all just different kinds of numbers and whatnot. So here we are in 3rd place, S1 Rally point to point behind a Trailcat and some kind of BMW. I'm not even going to attempt the name of that BMW, but we got a good little 3-way battle going on here. Trailcat is a very good off-road racer in this type of event. The BMW actually looks to be doing quite well. This Porsche is just one of my random builds. I just wanted to take a tiny little car and see how it would do in S1 Rally. And so far, so good. This thing gripping quite nicely through the corners. And as you can see, coming up to a sharp corner here, Trailcat's going to rip that e-brake. BMW's going to do quite well. I'm just going to go a little bit wide and end up in the wall. So going to fall behind a little bit here. So we're going to see who's got the straight line speed at this point. So catching up to the pair. And see what we can do here. Coming into the sharp corner, just going to ghost through the Trailcat. And they're both going to brake too late and end up in the wall. Trailcat actually doesn't look like he got penalized at all. So we're going to slide up the inside and going to take the win. So on to the next race. This was my attempt at making a power build. So we got the Nissan Pulsar here. This is like if you took a Nissan GTR and I don't know, some kind of Golf and mashed them together. This is what you would get. And this is my failed attempt at a power build because I put a rotary engine in it. I don't know what I was thinking when I went for that. So the handling on this thing is only 5.9, which is quite low for A-Class. You wanna aim for somewhere around like 6.6 and up. So 5.9 is definitely low. So this is the racing rotary engine, and the problem with making a power build with a rotary engine is that you have pretty much no low-end torque. And when it comes to power builds, you definitely need low-end torque because you need to take advantage of every single opportunity that you get to put the power down. So basically, when you have a rotary engine, you're going to be slow as you are exiting the corners, and you're going to be really fast on the long straightaways, as you can see here. But exiting those corners, you're going to be extra slow, and you will not be able to take advantage of all that extra power that you threw in there. And not only that, since it's a power build, your handling is going to suck. So basically, you're just going to be very slow unless you have a long straight. So as you can see, we are struggling quite a lot here as we pull up into 3rd place, passing the Nova, who I believe has some kind of power build as well. A lot of those Novas are typically power builds when you see them racing online. So gaining some nice speed on that little straightaway there as we catch up to the Integra slightly. So we're going to see how we compare on the back straight here. So as you can see, just reeling him in, no issues. They're going to fly by him like he's standing still as we hit 160 miles per hour as we start the 3rd lap. So just going to nurse the car around those final corners. And somehow we are going to take 2nd place in the rotary-powered Nissan Pulsar. So on to the next race, we got the Hummer H1 A-Class Rally facing the Tryhard Mercedes truck as he flies by me. Just going to smack right into the wall. So nice way to make myself look good on the starting of this race here. Great outing so far from the H1. So down into 5th place behind Farmer Dan in his Ranger Raptor. So we are going to see here if we can somehow make up for that giant mistake at the beginning. So catching up to the pack a little bit here, this thing has some great handling, although it lacks in the acceleration department, but I wanted to try something different. as we can see here, passing a couple guys. Gonna go up beside the Mini X-Raid, and just gonna stay to the left and give myself some space. And he's just gonna come here and hit my quarter panel. So going to hold it together somehow as we get some nice grip through that corner. So all the way back up into second place, so not bad for the end of the first lap. As you can see, gripping very nicely around that corner. And not going to make the same mistake twice. Just going to capitalize on that corner and keep some nice speed through there. So even though this thing lacks speed, the fact that it grips so nicely through the corners allows you to carry a lot more speed and thus a lot more momentum. So sliding nicely around that corner, catching up to him ever so slightly. And he's going to go a bit wide off that jump and just going to cut up the inside. Again, going to brake nice and early and cut up the inside as he goes a bit wide. As you can see on the map, that truck doesn't seem to grip very well, which gives me the advantage on this type of track. So going to hold it together for that last lap. Nothing exciting really taking place there. So going to take the win in the H1. So on to the next race here. We got a free roam rush still in the H1. As you can see, bogging off the line. This thing does not like to accelerate from a dead stop. So just following the pack here for the most part, down in 7th place. And going to cross the highway. Probably should have taken the overpass, but we're in a Hummer H1, so who cares at this point? We go wherever we want to go. Almost clipping a tree. So here we are, finally able to find a road. So as you can see, approaching a whole bunch of trees, and that is exactly where the finish line lays. So going to try to take my time here and get on the brakes and try to maneuver through here, hopefully. And just going to flip along with Farmer Dan, but just going to land it and try to salvage whatever we got left here. So down into 3rd place currently. So still trying to take my time here. And Farmer Dan up the left side, and he's off into Narnia. We may never see Farmer Dan ever again. I'm not quite sure where he was going. I think he was joining Elon Musk to go colonize some other planets. I think they're looking for planets without rammers. My information might be slightly off, but I believe that's what they're trying to do. So going up into 1st, we're going to go straight up the hill here. Again, we're on a Hummer H1. I'm not scared of anything at this point. Somehow we are going to find some grip and make it up onto the trail. And there's Farmer Dan, it looks like. I hope he comes back with good news, and I think he deserves the win at this point, so just going to give him a bit of a boost. Hopefully he found another planet out there that doesn't have any rammers. So on to the next race, and bringing you a second failed attempt at a power build. I just cannot seem to get these cars right. I always pick the wrong car. I always pick the wrong engine. Something always goes awry. So here we are up into 3rd place. So the problem with this car is that it has a 4-speed transmission, which means that each gear is going to be longer, which means you won't pull as hard every time you shift. So as you can see, shifting into 3rd gear and then just completely bogging down as we go up the hill here. So that is not what you want in a power build, or pretty much in any build, to be honest. A lot of these old cars in the 80s and 90s had these 4-speed automatics, and as far as racing goes, they are hot garbage. But as you can see, this car handles quite well, so managing to stay up here in 2nd place and actually catching up to the Z28 a little bit. So finally catching up to the Z28 as he makes a mistake, and just going to pull a complete noob move and miss the checkpoint. So falling behind now into 4th place behind Farmer Dan and an Atomic Punk. So going to try and regain some positions here as a last-ditch effort. Going to go around the outside, and the Atomic Punk just going to hold it in on the inside line there. So going to go on the outside of Farmer Dan, just going to make a clean pass there. And just going to finish in 3rd place as a result. So on to the next race here, we got an Audi. I believe this is an RS4 or an RS5. So definitely correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Once again, I'm not good when it comes to basically BMWs, Mercedes, Audis. So if I ever make enough money to afford a nice luxury car, I'm going to be the idiot who doesn't know what his own car is. So here we are off the jump, surrounded by Baja trucks, and just going to fly right up the middle. As you see, Baja trucks flying all around me. Complete chaos. But I guess the sweaty nerds are getting what they deserve for picking sweaty Baja trucks. And the Audi is going to take the lead. And going to get pounced on by a Baja truck. I guess they didn't like that commentary. But as you can see, just going to hold it together. This thing accelerates like a beast. This thing handles like a beast. Who needs a Baja truck when you have an Audi something something rally car? That's right. So we're just going to hold it together as we go over the jump. You can see a couple guys on the radar approaching. And going to take the win. Another successful outing with a V8 swapped rally build. Those V8 swaps, they always do me well. So on to the next race. We got an A-Class Big Red Camaro. This is actually a replica of a famous Camaro. I don't really have any details about it. I don't know anything about it, but it looked super sweet, and I know it's called the Big Red, so I wanted one. So here we are in 4th place, A-Class, point to point. Just gonna go a little bit wide. So up behind a Maserati Gran Turismo. There's Farmer Dan in his Opel. So just going to attempt to pass on the outside as we move up into 2nd place. Going to go a little bit wide and end up off the track. Going to get passed once again. Now keep an eye on that S2000 for later in the video. But for now, we are going to pass the whole group as we take that corner nicely. Now we got to catch up to the Lotus as we have some horn spammers behind us. So as you can see, that Lotus pretty much topping out at around 140, so just going to fly right past him. So this Camaro is quite good. Got the all-wheel drive swap. And going to take the corner and just going to go head-on into a traffic car, so wasn't paying enough attention there, and by the time I reacted it was too late. Just understeered and went right into him. So going to get passed once again by the Lotus and a Mustang. Gonna see if we can make a move here as the Lotus just decides to try and push me off the racing line. Mustang's gonna go into a tree. Must have been a crowd of people over there. And Lotus is going to crack under the pressure. He's gonna go wide, and I'm up into 1st place once again. And that's going to be the end of it there. Going to get the win, leading it for the red team. So on to the next race. Got another point to point here, starting down in 5th place. So quite good off the line. So around the 1st corner, going to understeer a little bit. And just going to go a little bit wide and take out some fence posts. And I'm going to get punted off wide, but going to be hard on the brakes and just able to recover it as we go up into 2nd place behind the S2000. So slow around the corner, just going to try and prevent it from understeering. So we're on to the next corner, the double apex. Very tricky corner if you're not anticipating that 2nd apex. Going to go around the traffic car. Just going to be in an awkward position there as we move up into a spot to potentially pass the S2000, but he's just not having it. He's just going to ram me off and try and prevent me from hitting that checkpoint. Not going to happen, buddy. So here we are, just going to stay back a little bit. As you can see, going to talk a little bit of trash. And it's time to embarrass a rammer here. So just going to go up beside him. Not going to give him any room. Going to go in aggressively. And just going to hit my braking zone. And that's what happens. A rammer focuses more on ramming than they do on racing. And all you have to do is brake. So going to take the win in that one I hope our little rammer friend learned his lesson. So on to the next race in the Nissan R390. So I'm pretty sure I got that one right. So I think I have the GTR swap in here, as this thing just sounds beautiful. So up into 5th place as we pass the first corner. See, we got a lot of fast cars up ahead of us here. We got Farmer Dan in his Ferrari F40 Lego edition. Just going to understeer a little bit, so this thing does not have the best handling in the world. So this is kind of like a speed build for S2, as this thing just flies down the straights, as you can see, catching up to first place quite quickly. And he's just going to crack under the pressure and go into the wall. So going to take first place here as we speak. I really like these type of exotic race cars. They're really fun to drive. They usually do quite well. There's one in S1 class called the Lola or something like that. Definitely a very good car. As you saw in some of my previous videos, I drove the Pink Pig, which is also a beast in S1 class. So back to the race here, just getting past as we understeered and messed up a couple corners. So going to have to track down this guy in the Koenigsegg. He is actually our rammer friend from the last race. So we might have an interesting battle on our hands here if I decide to stop hitting the walls and actually catch up. So on the last lap currently, and he's just going to lose out a whole bunch of speed on the exit of that corner. And going to go up the left side, and again he's going to try and ram me off the road, but he's going to be more focused on ramming than driving, and he's going to go off into the wall. And as a result, just going to beat our little rammer friend once again, just out here embarrassing rammers. But that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be notified every time I post new content. It helps the channel grow, and it helps satisfy the algorithm. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.